All right, y'all already know I cannot keep myself away from the ship, or maybe the ship can't keep itself away from me. But we're back at the Queen Mary for a completely different experience tonight. This is the 57 Ghost Séance interactive experience thing that they're doing on the Queen Mary. I've heard so much about it. I've never done it myself, but I just found it fitting that I needed to come and try this out because I've done almost everything on the Queen Mary except stay the night, which will change very soon. But today we're doing 57 Ghosts on the Queen Mary, and I brought Chanel! So we are ready to party on the Queen Mary. I can't wait. Let's get inside. So I just want to give a huge shout out to Tori, her team, and the Queen Mary for inviting me out to experience 57 Ghosts. You guys are awesome. I love working with Tori and her team. You guys make everything so smooth and so perfect, and the Queen Mary is always just so accommodating when it comes to everything on their ship. So much, much love to Tori, and tons of love to the Queen Mary team as well. We're back. Oh my God, it feels so good to be back. It feels like home. I don't know. Why does it feel like homey? It feels like homey to me. I don't know. I just love it. And it's chilly. And then like we got to park in this parking lot that like we normally don't get to park in for Shacktoberfest because there's like all the mazes and stuff here. And so I feel like, oh my gosh, it's like front row parking. Like normally I don't park right here. Are you ready for this, Chanel?
I'm super excited.
We got to get in the elevator. We got to head up and onto the ship. Let's do it. So visit the tour center, check. I've not done like a normal tour here, so we'll have to change that. I visited that, check. I've done the haunted tour, check. And I've never spoken to the captain. Is there a captain? The ship doesn't move.
No.
Okay, we'll have to change that. Here it is. Check in for 57 Ghosts, a theatrical seance aboard the Queen Mary. So this is something completely different, not ghost hunting, not a paranormal tour, but a show of some sorts. I don't know how much of the show I'm going to be able to show you, but I hope I can give you kind of a general idea of what to expect. Well, again, welcome aboard. I feel so welcomed here. But like I always say, when you're walking on this bridge to get on, like the vibe completely changes once you step on the ship. It's like just kind of weird. And I just love it so much. Oh my gosh, I'm smiling so big. I wish you guys could see. We're back in the Queen Mary. We're going right over here. Gotta follow the signs. So we got a drink ticket called Jackie's Tears. The Blue Hawaiian. That's Chanel's favorite.
Yes, it is.
So Chanel's just winning already.
Yes.
Here comes our Jackie's Tears. Ooh. Chanel's fave. So we got our drinks. We're sitting at our table. We met up with Tori. It was nice talking to her. And Becca, if you remember from the Grey Ghost Project, our tour guide Becca was here. So it was cool just seeing her too. And I can't wait to do more with the Grey Ghost Project coming up very soon. But cheers! So now we're following Aiden down the stairs to the seance chamber. We're going down. Why are we gonna go down to do the seance? That's a little scary. I'm a little creeped out. I'm excited though. Oh, we made it to our stop.
The show is called 57 Ghosts because there were 57 people who passed while the ship was in service. Each of those deaths are very well documented. We know who they are, how they died, what their cause of death was, so to speak, and how old they were, basic information of that nature. And we begin our evening for 57 Ghosts here at this staircase, because right here where you're standing is really the genesis of the paranormal history of the ship, as far as I'm concerned. It's opinion about when hauntings begin, but what we do know is the first kind of spooky, weird thing to ever happen on the ship happened right here. There was a gentleman named Mr. Seichel. He was walking up these stairs and he died here. In fact, 2 people died on these staircases. What makes that kind of a strange oddity is how they happened. Now, where you're at right now is the tourist class of the ship. They were the cheap seats. Cunard Line didn't have a third class. They thought that sounded kind of rude, so they called it tourist class. But essentially, those were the cheap seats. And when a lot of people think of tourist class or third class, they think of the Titanic, where like the poor people would be at the bottom. On the Queen Mary, the poor people were put at the front. And that was because the ride was really rough. The ship was very fast, and this part of the ship was constantly going up and down on every wave, cutting to the right and left. Now, when you think of that, and then you consider the staircase, you can understand how precarious the staircase could become. And that's what happened to Mr. Seichel. He was coming up the stairs, he got just to about the top, and the ship took a wave. So he fell, but fell's kind of the wrong word. When you hear the word fall, you think of falling down. For him, down meant back. He was thrown all the way down the stairs, and his head hit here.
Oh my goodness.
He died of a basal skull fracture. He was thrown back so hard it shattered his skull, and he was killed instantly. Now, where this gets trippy is exactly 10 years to the date. Exactly 10 years to the date, an American woman named Miss Boothman, was walking up the stairs and also fell. She suffered the exact same injury. Where it gets trippy is this. Mr. Seichel's fall was not witnessed. Nobody saw him fall. His body was found at the bottom. There was blood on the wall, blood on the floor, and they put two and two together. Miss Boothman, her fall was witnessed. There were people at the top of the stairs who saw her fall, and people at the bottom of the stairs where she landed. And unlike Mr. Seichel, she did not die instantly. She was still conscious. And where it got trippy was the first words that she said was, "Why did he push me?"
Wow.
You got to admit, that's a little trippy. Now, we know that happened because there was an investigation. If a woman says, "I was pushed on the stairs," people are going to look into that. And because she said those words, an investigation did take place. There's documentation of those words. There's documentation of the ship's officers asking the witnesses, "Was anyone else on the stairs?" And all of them said, "No, we don't know why she said that." It's weird. But I share that with you because we're going to walk down these stairs. So, watch your step. And welcome to the hard day. We have a couple more people still coming down. We're about to have a theatrical experience. It is a show, but that being said, every night that we've done this show in this room, there are synchronicities. There are weird things that happen. The ship is notoriously haunted, and tonight Michael will conjure a ghost of the ship. The room you're about to enter was originally the tourist class dining room. The room originally went the entire width of the ship. What you're about to see is all that's left of it. When we took over this space in July, we spent 2 months restoring the room. You'll see the original mirrors in the room, the original woodwork, all of that we restored. We've redone the carpet, the wallpaper is period appropriate, and we tried to bring the room back to something of its state. I'm going to introduce you to Michael. He will take care of you tonight, and I hope you enjoy your time in the room, and I hope all of you are here at the end.
Good evening, welcome. As I said, my name is Michael Rangel. I'm going to be your apparitionist, your host this evening for the Séance. A few things before we get started. What you're about to experience has been described by many here that have attended the Séance as being intense. People have been poked in their back, turned around, and nobody was there. The person has felt a cold hand graze across their cheek, a playful tug of the hair, but most notably, as of recently, we've had extreme temperature changes in one spot. A person sitting in one spot has felt it either get incredibly cold or colder, or more notably, it's gotten incredibly warm or very hot to where they're sweating. Considering we keep the Séance chamber at a chilly 62 degrees, that's notable. That's something. If any of this makes you feel incredibly uncomfortable at any point you find that this just isn't for you, don't feel trapped, okay? Don't get up, don't run for the door. Simply raise your hand, say, "Excuse me, I'd like to leave." I'll come over, walk over to you, and safely escort you out of the chamber, okay? If you came with other people, they can stay behind and they can meet you later at the observation bar. Now, there are a couple of rituals that we like to follow here at 57 Ghosts. And the first is that of the secret keeper. You see, back in Victorian times, there were many fraudulent mediums, people were preying on the grief of people that have lost human beings that they love very much, and they would take them for their money. So what we like to do is, back then, a person would go into a seance with a secret object in their pocket and ask the spirits sometime during the seance what they had in their pocket. If the spirits answered correctly, they would know that the seance was real and the medium was on the up and up and not a fraud. I can't do that now because all I would have to do is go, the spirits say you have a cell phone in your pocket. So what we do here is we elect somebody to be the secret keeper. I would like one of you to think of some place that has emotional significance to you. Now this has to be someplace real. It can't be fictitious, it can't be Narnia, and it can't be Hogwarts, I'm sorry. So one of you, I'd like you to think of someplace emotionally significant to you. What is your name?
Jen.
You look like you're a well-traveled woman. Would you like to be the secret keeper?
Sure.
Beth, you said?
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to think of that place that's significant to you and say it's in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
If it's, say, Los Angeles, you put Los Angeles and put California. Or say it's Barstow, say Barstow, California. Whatever it is, the city and the state. If it's out of the country, say it's Paris, France, and you should put Paris, France, because it could be Paris, Texas, or Paris, California. They're spelled differently, but spirits seem to work phonetically for some reason. Okay? So go ahead and write that down, and when you are done, I would like you to write it down and fold it once and then fold it twice and put it inside your pocket or your jacket or your bag, whatever you like, okay? And don't let anybody know what that secret is. That's going to be your secret. Now, the second ritual we follow extremely strictly is that of how we enter and how we exit the chamber. We're going to walk in single file, one by one. And there's going to be a seance table we're going to be sitting around in the round. We're going to enter clockwise around the table. The first person's going to go all the way to the last seat, and I will guide you. You'll sit in the last seat. The person next to you will sit right behind you. And like a snake chasing its tail, you all will file in behind them. Won't be an empty seat inside the house. When the seance is over, we will get up the same way. We will exit the same way, but counterclockwise. The last person will stand up. We will all stand up and exit counterclockwise around the table and out of the chamber safely. Do you understand?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Yes.
Follow me.
You want to go in first or behind me?
I don't care. Do you want to go first?
No, you go first.
You already said that.
I always feel like I have to stop by this room when I'm here. What is this? This is new. What? Chanel, what did you think?
It was fun and
That was crazy.
and cool.
Like, I don't
And
know.
weird.
I don't know how to explain.
It
I don't-
was interesting.
It was very interesting. Sorry, I'm like out of breath. We're
Yeah.
like walking up a million
We
flights of
just walked, like,
stairs.
8 flights of stairs.
But that was just so
No,
crazy.
it was fun.
I'm-
It was
I'm-
like I don't know. It was just really cool.
So we can record anything in there. So we kind of have to like explain what happened, which we'll do in a second. Let's just get up there. So that experience was crazy. Like, I don't even know how to explain what we just did in there.
Insane.
So it starts out with 2 different seances. Well, you get to meet Michael, and he kind of tells you, you know, about himself and stories and stuff, so that you kind of feel more connected with him. And then there are 2 different seances that happen. A light seance and a dark seance. The light one, we're connecting with each other. The dark one, we're connecting with the paranormal.
Yeah.
So you kind of do a couple things in each seance. You do a couple different, I don't know what to call them, like it's not like an activity. You do like a couple rituals
Yeah, ritual would be good.
in the light seance and a couple rituals in the dark seance. And both were just crazy.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what to like expect, because like me as a skeptic coming in here, like just I'm looking always for a reason to be like, that didn't happen. Oh, I saw a string.
I was looking for a camera.
Yes, I'm looking for a camera. I'm looking like if
behind
he's
things.
peeking at something, you know? And I couldn't find
No,
any of that.
it was crazy.
I couldn't find any of that, like at all. So I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It was
It was an experience. I would definitely do it again.
Oh no, 100%. I'm gonna have to do this again.
It would be cool to be in like a different position or participate in a different
In something
activity.
that you didn't get to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was so cool because, I mean, you see seances in movies and they're like, you know, sitting at a table and all holding hands and screaming and yelling at whatever, and someone's getting possessed, and like,
This was real.
This
This
was
was
like
real.
very different. So if you're looking for something like that,
This is
plan your own thing, because I don't think there is anything like that. But this was just very, I don't know how to explain it. It was very, real, I guess, raw.
Yeah.
It was
calm, but it was still there. It wasn't
Yes.
scary. It was just unique and interesting. I don't know what other words to use.
I don't either.
And I'm a skeptic too, so like totally. And then every time something would happen, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, 100%. Ooh. So now I can say I've done the Haunted Encounters tour here on the Queen Mary. Did that one with Coco. If you haven't seen the video, it's up on my YouTube right now. You can go check that one out. It was a lot of just kind of walking around the ship and learning the history and learning about the ghosts that are, you know, seen and documented on the ship. Then I got to do the Grey Ghost Project with Becca. That one was more of a hands-on kind of paranormal investigation, if you will. Everybody got like an EMF reader, and there were cat toys everywhere. I also did a YouTube video on that one, so if you want to check that out too, it's also up. And then just doing this is something completely different. It was a theatrical experience. You weren't roaming the ship. You were sitting in one area and listening to stories and, you know, doing these rituals on the table. And it was just something so different. Every experience here on the Queen Mary is just so different when it comes to the paranormal tours. So it's like, if you've done one, you should definitely check out another one, because it's completely different than the first one that you did. So like I was saying before, there were two different rituals or two different seances, a light and a dark. The light one, like, that was more for us. Mm-hmm. Everybody went around and did something, and then he kind of pinpoint each one of the little things to a specific person and kept getting them right, and was just using energy. He wasn't looking at anybody's, you know, cards. He wasn't looking at anything. He was just kind of reading the energy and feeling each person, and kind of like, you are this card, and this is what it means, and this is what it is. So it was cool doing that. And then when we went into the dark seance, it was more, there were more rituals to do that involved this obsidian mirror of sorts that you can see. I'm gonna put a picture of it right here. And it was like a portal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a portal for them to come through and communicate with us, and we can visualize things and see it. But there was also the bell in the middle of the table that would ring when something, it was just crazy. It was so much fun. Again, thank you so much to the Queen Mary for having us out to cover this, and thank you to Tori and her team. Aiden Sinclair, shout out to you. And Michael, you guys were awesome. Thank you so much. I cannot wait to come back and do this again. I gotta drag more friends over to the Queen Mary and like do more experiences. So,
and I'm for it.
So Chanel and I were kind of talking about it as we were walking out of the Queen Mary, and the best way I can explain this is like a magic show without the tricks. You know, it's like a magic, so there's things happening that you can't explain, but you also can't learn how to do that trick. There's no handbook that's like, this is how you make this happen. So it's weird. It's
And
like,
it's obviously real. There's no sleight of hand.
yeah,
There's no like.
exactly. It's like you can't learn the trick.
No.
You can't learn the outcome of what's happening at this seance table. But it almost is like magical. It's, you just can't explain it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Keep your eye out for a trailer of my newest series coming soon. Bye.